Hi, this is Zach from Concept 3D. I'm going to show you how to build a house from two elevations. Go to the File menu, down to Import. Let's bring in you can bring in a JPEG, a PNG, a GIF. Click Open, make sure it's Use as Image. Depending on your view, it's going to snap to the ground plane, or if you click on one of these houses, it's going to snap to a front elevation. And then we're going to import the second one. This one doesn't have any scale right now. Let's go ahead and let's put it right here. It's fine. It's acting kind of goofy. Let's just move it down and use the scale tool in SketchUp and scale it up. And it looks like we need to flip it around, so just use the move tool. I can spin it around. Now I want to do some aligning. To do aligning with images, you could just have to draw yourself a little line in the bottom. So if there's a line at the bottom of there and a line at the bottom of there, I can select that line and move it up, and I can hold down the up arrow key. I can tap the up arrow key, or I can hold down the shift key, and then I can snap the lines. Now they align, but the scale is off. So let's use the tape measure tool and see what the scale looks like. If I measure the door, after I measure the door, I'm going to type in 6'9", and the measurement is in the lower right hand corner of the screen. I'll type enter, or just hit enter. So 6'9", enter. Do you want to resize the model? Just click yes. And you can see by doing an undo redo, you can see it does everything. So let's just resize the model, but now I just want to resize this one over here. So I need to make it into a group. So there's a couple ways you can do that. One way is just explode it, and then selection tool, double click, and then right click, make group. Once it's a group, if you want to go inside the group by right clicking, going to edit group, you can take the tape measure tool and let's measure a known distance. So I know that this distance from the bottom to the top is 27'9". So let's go over here, and it doesn't matter, we can go from the top to the bottom. Top to the bottom. Type in 27'9", enter. Resize the active group. Yes. So now you can see if I do undo redo, it just does that one group. So that's perfect. Now we just want to explode everything. Just explode, and let's make sure that our images are lined up. So just take my move tool, holding on the shift key, but make sure to press the shift key after you see the axis color. There we go. Now quickly I'm going to trace this house. Sometimes I use the rectangle tool to go a little bit faster. Rectangle tool right there, and then I'll just do a pencil tool. And you can see the magenta color. It remembers the parallel. If you touch a line too, it finds magenta again. And there's magenta color again, all the way to the top there. We'll follow that one down. Actually, go all the way to this one. Go down, touch that. There's magenta color again. And go to the top there. Now we can erase those two lines. And we can erase this line and that line. And we have our side elevation. There's actually no reason for these lines are there, just a couple more erases. And then on the front elevation, the same thing. Another way that I trace is if something is symmetrical, I'll just trace half of it. So I'll just go to here and to there. Bad job tracing that. There we go. And then just with the move tool, if you tap the control key one time, you can copy and then right click, flip along the red, flip that shape along, and then I can just erase. Now I just have that piece in the middle there. So I'm going to leave this little piece up here at the top. Rectangle tool. Erase all that stuff. I don't need that. And then now let's just do some extruding. So first thing I want to do is selection tool, triple click, take the move tool. Right in the corner I'm going to move it, but I'm going to hold on the shift key to align it to that corner. Take the push pull tool. I'm going to push it across and snap it to the other side there. And then you can see that the roof looks kind of funny, so let's go ahead and just push the roof all the way back. And then let's just use this right here. You could push this across. See a little line right there. And now we can push that across. And so that's one way to do it. And let's make sure, okay. snap it to this point right there, and we can snap it to that point right there. If I just tap the control key, I'm making a copy, and then I can just erase these lines really quickly. And if I want to paint the front elevation on this roof right here, I can just use my paint bucket, hold down the Alt key to sample it, and then paint the roof. And I still need to make the dormer, so let's go ahead and just trace the dormer. It's a little bit easier to see the dormer in the front elevation, and it still remembers. So if I just copy this out over here, there's the dormer right there. Touch that line. There's the magenta color. And I'm just going to do half of it. So copy, flip along the red. And now I'm going to copy this. And I can bring it back here along the green. I don't need this anymore, so I'll just select it and delete it. And I'm going to move this back along there. I can do a couple ways. I could use the pencil tool. And notice I just, once I see the green axes, I just hold the shift key and it snaps to the surface. I could also just push-pull it in too, but this is just as fast sometimes. So I can use the arrow keys. If I tap the left arrow key, it snaps to the green. I use the shift key a lot though. And then just kind of connecting some dots. So it's this one. And that one, and that one, and that one. You could also just take push-pull and push it through. Okay. And then the dormer on the back is the same as the dormer on the front, so I'm just going to select that, copy it, and you notice it's going to flip around automatically for me, so I'm going to place it on the roof, and then I can just move it into place. And that's it. There's just a little bit of cleanup left. Make sure that these two line up. Draw a line straight down there. Draw a line straight up here. Erase these lines. And then I could erase that line right there too. I could even erase the bottom. And I could erase the side. Because you can just copy it over as fast as just cleaning it up. So I could select this surface and I could just copy it over and then paste it right there. Draw a line here. And we can just, there's no image for the back elevation, so we can just paint it with something. We can just select this image and paint it back here. And that's quickly how to make a house from 2 elevations.